Welcome to Climb English. If you're here to improve your listening and fall in love with English, you're in the right place. Today's story is gentle, emotional, and easy to follow. Listen carefully, feel the words, and let the language become part of you. My name is Lily. I'm 28 years old. I work at a small flower shop on the corner of a quiet street. Every morning, I open the door, arrange the roses, and water the lilies. Life is slow, simple, soft. I never expected anything to change, but sometimes life surprises you right when you least expect it. I wake up at 6 a.m. The streets are still quiet. I make tea, tie my hair back, and walk to the shop. The smell of fresh flowers greets me at the door. I flip the sign to open and start the day. People in this neighborhood are kind. They smile, they say good morning. Sometimes they stop just to talk. I like that. Most days are the same. I trim stems, wrap bouquets, and listen to soft music. At lunch, I read a book or watch the world outside. I've never wanted much. I didn't look for excitement. I didn't chase dreams or search for love. I believed things would come when the time was right. And for a long time, nothing did. Until one afternoon in early spring. It was a rainy afternoon, the kind that makes the world feel slower, quieter. I was sweeping petals off the floor when the door suddenly opened. The wind rushed in first. Then, he stepped inside. Tall, with dark hair and a coat damp from the rain. He smiled. It was a small smile, but warm. "Hi," he said. "Do you have anything for someone who's having a hard day?" I looked at him, surprised. "Flowers or words?" I asked. He laughed softly. "Maybe both." I walked to the back and picked out a small bouquet, white daisies, pale pink roses. Gentle colors. "These help," I said. He looked at the flowers, then at me. "Thank you," he said. "They're perfect." He left with the bouquet, and something in me felt different after he walked out. He started coming every week after that, always on Wednesdays, always around the same time. He said his name was Thomas. He worked nearby, just a few streets over. Each visit, he bought a small bouquet, sometimes for his office, sometimes for his sister, sometimes, he said, just because the colors made him feel better. We talked more each time. About the weather, about music, about how coffee never tastes the same when you make it at home. His voice was calm, low, and easy to listen to. I found myself waiting for Wednesdays. I began to notice the way his eyes crinkled when he smiled, how he always touched the petals gently like they were fragile. Once, he brought me a cup of coffee. He said, "I passed the cafe. Thought you might like something warm." I did. That afternoon, we stood by the window and watched the rain. Neither of us said much. We didn't have to. The silence felt safe. One Wednesday, he didn't come. I kept glancing at the door, listening for the little bell above it, but it stayed quiet. The hours passed slowly. I told myself he was just busy, but my heart felt heavy. The next week, he returned. When I saw him, something inside me lifted and then sank just as quickly. He looked tired. His smile was faint. He picked out a bouquet of sunflowers and walked up to the counter. "Sorry I didn't come last week," he said. "My fiancé wasn't feeling well. I had to take her to the hospital." That word, fiancé, echoed in my mind. Fiancé. I smiled politely, like it didn't matter. "I hope she's okay." He said, "She's doing better. Thanks." After he left, I stood still behind the counter, holding the same ribbon in my hand for what felt like forever. My fingers were shaking. I had written him into a story that wasn't mine to tell. That night, I didn't sleep. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, thinking about everything he had said and everything he hadn't. I kept hearing the word fiancé repeating in my mind like a song I couldn't turn off. I tried to be angry. I tried to let it go. But mostly, I just felt foolish. I had let myself care for someone who was never mine. I loaded my new book and began to write. Not to him, not really, just for me. Dear Thomas, you'll never read this, and maybe that's for the best. But I need to write it. I need to say it somewhere. I love the way you notice small things. I love the sound of your voice when you talk about music. I love how your hands move when you arrange the flowers, like every petal matters. But you belong to someone else, and I won't be the reason that changes. So I will let go quietly. I will smile when you come, and I will cry when you leave. I will love you in silence, because that is the only way I can. I closed the notebook. My hands were still shaking. Weeks passed, then months. Thomas still came, but less often. Sometimes he came with her, his fiancée. She was kind, with soft eyes and a gentle smile. She always greeted me, always thanked me for the flowers.
I would smile back, but it didn't feel real anymore. I stopped waiting for him, stopped watching the door, hoping. The shop became quieter, the flowers a little brighter, the days a little easier. I found myself reading more, painting in the evenings, and laughing with the people who came into the shop. I began to feel alive again, not just a shadow in the corner of someone else's story. One day, I saw Thomas walking with his fiancée in the park. They were holding hands, talking softly. He looked happy. I didn't feel anything then, not pain, not longing, just peace. I sat on a bench watching the sky, listening to the wind, and in that moment, I realized something. I had healed. One afternoon, I saw them in the park, Thomas and his fiancée. They were holding hands, laughing at something I couldn't hear. I watched them from a distance, and for the first time, I didn't feel pain. I didn't look away. I didn't cry. I just sat on a bench beneath the trees and let the breeze brush against my face. It was peaceful. My heart felt still, like it had finally stopped searching. That night, I wrote in my notebook, "I'm learning to let go. I'm learning to love myself." And it was true. Love doesn't always stay, but the lessons it leaves behind, those can last forever. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've ever loved someone in silence, know this: your heart is strong, and your journey matters. If this story touched you, please like, comment, and subscribe. At Climb English, we believe every story helps you grow. Yours is just beginning.